and we have 2 non-white students on the line and 1 white student. That right there is exactly why the description reads the way it does. We have a class of suspected racists. If these white people were really interested in replacing white supremacy with justice, I would have more white people here. I would not just have Spencer hanging out on the line. Justice, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
Outstanding. Okie dokie. This is the class from the University of Washington. They're focusing on racism, white supremacy, and Tupac Shakur. If you have some questions you would like to ask, please go right ahead.
How do you practice white supremacy every day? Hello?
Is that question towards anyone in specific?
Do you think you can each answer, please?
I mean, as a white person, I don't. I mean, I don't think that. Huh?
Is there only one white person?
I believe so. I think I'm the only one.
Okay, so that's you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How do you practice white supremacy every day?
Well, I personally don't consider myself a white supremacist. I took the class in order to learn more, to promote justice and to help, learn more about the topic so I can, help educate others about it. I personally don't consider myself to practice white supremacy. I don't do anything specifically to subject people to, unequal, standings within society. I don't think I practice white supremacy.
I think there's some discussion.
What's that?
Whoever's in the car, if you could mute your phone while you are, I guess, getting settled, if you're going to a destination or what have you, because we're picking up the distortion in the broadcast. Thank you so much. Okay. I'm sorry for interrupting, Justice. I'm going to continue.
Okay, that'll be all for now.
Did you want everyone to respond to your question, or did you just want Spencer? Spencer is a white person, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
did you want the...
Yeah, but he said that he's not a racist, so I was going to ask him a few questions about white supremacy. Yeah, but that's all for now.
Okay. Do you suspect that Spencer could be a racist white supremacist?
Yes.
Okay. Why do you suspect that?
He's white.
How do you feel about that, Spencer?
It's kind of. Wait, just to clarify, she said that she said yes. Is that correct? She does suspect that?
Yes.
Okay. So, I mean, I understand just from taking this course, actually, the position that non-whites, have to take against this. For me, it's kind of upsetting just because for me personally, I like to give people an opportunity to get to know me, and I like to get to know them, and I like to establish that, respect and trust, I guess. So it's kind of upsetting just because I don't like to be suspected of being a white supremacist. I like people to get to know me and my character. But I understand where you're coming from, being suspicious of that.
All right, that'll be all.
Very interesting. Do you think there's anything incorrect about non-white people, victims of racism, white supremacy, being suspicious of you as a white person?
It's not that I think there's anything incorrect. I think that, unfortunately, we've come to a place in time where, non-whites have to feel that way. I guess I hope that, we can eventually get to a point where people can, give the opportunity to learn about, the content of someone's character, opposed to, not to quote, I'm okay, but...
Sorry. Oh, man. Oh, man. I played Mr. Robertson to introduce the program because I'm very comfortable as a slave can be on the plantation. I'm about that comfortable now. I feel, to have white people, and white people, Spencer, white people have scoffed repeatedly in your class about being referenced as suspected racists. Many of them read the description for this program and contacted more powerful people at the University of Washington and griped and complained. Oh, my gosh. Oh, suspected white supremacists, suspected racists. Oh, my God, I cannot believe this. We're not in for open dialogue. And what you just said, there is absolutely nothing incorrect about a non-white person being suspicious of a white person as long as we are in a system of white supremacy. There's nothing incorrect about it, and that is the logical stance to take for non-white people, victims of racism. I want everybody to, and Spencer, can you verify this, that a lot of white people in your class, suspected white supremacists, have complained consistently about being referenced, well, not even themselves, it's not even personal, but they have complained about non-white people saying they should be suspicious of white people in a system of white supremacy. Is that accurate from what you have observed?
I think people, more so, I don't know, I guess when things are thrown out like white supremacists, I think the white students feel almost like they're being persecuted for being white supremacists.
Oh, well, wait a minute, Spencer. And I'm going to bring somebody else on because we might have another classmate here. 360, are you one of the students that's supposed to be participating in this class?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you a white person?
No, I'm not white. I'm black.
Keep this in mind, ladies and gentlemen, the folks that are listening in. We now have 3 non-white students, and we still just got Spencer with us, suspected racist Spencer. The rest of the gang, this is why the description reads the way it does. There are at least, I think, at least 15 white students in this class. Does that number sound in the ballpark, Spencer?
Yeah, about that.
Okay. Now I want to get back to the question that I asked Spencer here, and I want to get the non-white people's commentary on this in a hot second, but you all know the cows, we like to focus attention on white people. I asked you, have white people consistently complained about the suggestion that non-white people be suspicious of white people in a system of white supremacy? You just said that is a logical stance to take. There's nothing incorrect about it, but the white people have complained about this consistently. That's the specific question that I asked. So can I get a yes or no to that, and then you can share whatever thoughts? Have the white people complained about that suggestion consistently in the course?
From what I understand, yes.
Okay. Now whatever thoughts you have around that, please share with us, Spencer.
I think the reason why people are complaining about it, and, I don't know who's complaining, and I don't know who's sending the email specifically, but I think the reason why is because, as white people, we feel, because we're being suspected of being white supremacists, we feel like we're being, judged and, not persecuted, but, we're kind of like immediately have a negative connotation because, people assume that we're white supremacists.
Well, wait a minute now, Spencer. See, that's what I say. You got to be real. Excuse me?
I used the wrong word. I said assume.
Thank you, Spencer. Got to be on your toes about words with these white people, which is why you're under suspicion, Spencer, because it has been my observation white people tend to brag about their precision with words. I observe this every day. So it just strikes me as very suspicious when white people suddenly become so careless, and it doesn't say assume these white people are racist. It says suspect that they could be. It doesn't say assume anywhere in the description for this program. It says suspect racist. So that's why you're still under suspicion, Spencer. Justice, excellent job. I suspect Spencer is most likely a racist white supremacist myself. But I could be wrong. And he is here. None of the other white people thus far. Whoever's in the car, you're making noise again.
I'm leaving the car. I'm getting on a train right now, so I actually have to go soon. But
he has to go soon. That's why you're a suspect, Spencer. That's why.
I understand that, but I think that there's also, to be completely honest with you, I'm attending a funeral and I have to get there. And I think that it's, I don't think it's right to immediately suspect of someone being a white supremacist. I mean, I'm not going to hang up the phone with a white supremacist.
Spencer, you just said there is nothing incorrect about a non-white person, victim of white supremacy, suspecting that a white person could be a racist. Did you forget that you just said that on this broadcast?
No, I understand. I understand that.
Okay, well, wait a minute, Spencer. That's the problem that we have. You can't say it's correct, it's logical for you to be suspicious, and then come back 10 minutes later with some sort of personal indignation. Oh, I just think it's really bad that you don't even get to know me and that there's some sort of judgment being made about me before you know anything about my... You can't do that, Spencer, unless you want to confirm my suspicions that this guy's trying to confuse us. He's trying to practice racism, white supremacy, because that's what it sounds like to me, Spencer.
I'm sorry, it sounds that way.
According to the code, this is what I do. I assume that the white person, if he or she is able to be a racist, is one. That's an automatic assumption. If they are able to be one, then the person probably is one. But I'm not going to tell them that they are racist, because that would be name calling. But I will say that I suspect they could be one. And I'll tell any white person that who's able to be one. I mean, even white people that have been around for years maybe, had conversations with and everything, probably visited their house. But if they would ask me directly, do I think that they're racist, I say you probably are one. That's the way I see you. Because it's dangerous to think otherwise. Somebody's got to be a racist. And the chief weapon of a racist is deception. So a white person can fool you for years. They could be a racist, but you not know it, or you don't believe it on account of all the nice things that they do. But the person can still be a racist. Using the Pocahontas analysis, the white people, presumably, who were around Pocahontas, were racist in historical perspective. But she didn't think so, because they were so nice to her. But racists know how to be nice when it's to their advantage. They were nice to her so that they could take over her whole tribe. And that is still a technique that the racists use. And I tell white people that. I tell them that's why I always have to figure that they are racist until they prove otherwise. Now, how does a white person under the system of white supremacy prove that he or she is not a racist? There's no way to do it until the end of white supremacy. That's the criteria. And you tell them that. That's what I mean by having your words in place. When they ask that question, well, how can I prove that I'm not a racist? You say, Brian or Sheila, you can't. You can only prove it when racism no longer exists. So, if you want to bring about the proof that you are not a racist, you have to get busy and see to it that racism no longer exists nowhere on the planet. Because that is the criteria, and there is no other. Up until then, you are on the racist suspect list. Suspected by whom? By me. Why me? Because I'm a victim. And as a victim, I have the duty to suspect whoever I want to suspect, who is white, as being a racist. That's what I mean by the United Independent Compensatory Code feature. The United Independent feature of the code. So you don't have to ask another black person or somebody else, is such and such a white person a racist? You make that determination yourself. You owe that to yourself. And nobody is supposed to be able to take it away from you. I don't care if everybody stands up and says that Mr. Jones is not a racist. If you think that he's a racist, then he remains on the list. And you tell him that. And he might say, well, none of the other black people think that I'm a racist. Say, they're speaking for themselves. This is me. I'm a victim of racism, so I determine whether I think that you are one or not. And if I think that you may be one, you stay on that list until I change my determination, regardless of what anybody in the world does. That's the kind of code that we need, that we don't have. And I'm trying to bring it into being.